that I just come in there the keys. I'm actually a sharp fighter.
So,
I don't feel like no fighters
welcome to Body. Welcome back. It's Michael Rogers. Welcome to Bodywork Boxing. Man. But people don't really want to keep it a buck. Man. You know, the land back severe in the land. And that happened to be the 140 division, man. You know, we've seen some strength. I'm not going to go back down the lane. It's an important fight coming up. It's in the 140-pound division, which is a division that I call the row. I've been tracking this division for quite a minute, keeping tabs and going down the path of this division, and it's shaking up. When you look at what happened with Sabril Matias, Gary Antoine Russell, when you look at that, you like, whoa. When you look at what happened to Josh Taylor, go up there if he want to. He didn't went up there, did his toe in the water, did his thing, and then, you know, say I'm reigning at third. In his last performance against Steve Claggett, over here we had been keeping tabs. We knew who Steve Claggett was. Why? Because we went through the rankings and we knew that female probably should have faced somebody else. And I got word earlier today by this gentleman, older gentleman. He's been getting some good interviews, and Kenny had a choice of him, Taya, and Cody. But that was news to my ear. A lot of people came down on fight, and you know, I didn't really judge him that harsh. Why? Because I always give the guys who fight under the rehydration and all that. So he was trying to get himself accustomed to that. Gustavo Lemos was a tough, gamey person, and Richardson Hitchens, he boxed, out his survival kit failed, you know, and that win, a lot of people don't look at that win. What he do? He disappeared. He got low. But that win over Gustavo Lemos was aged so very well. Now, he did have a shot at going at because he going by the IBF in the rehydration. He's ahead of the curve. And he actually won. People don't all people drop them and relieve them of a strap. What was going on with Regis? I wanted him to go ahead and get it on with Subriel. He was saying he needed a couple more. A lot of people went the other way, chose to go the WBA route. A lot of crazy things happen. Long story short, Subriel get outworked by Liam Paro and get yikes. That's my man. No, I've been trying to wait and see some things and hear about some things and do some research on some things as far as who he's with and what's going on. I heard it was some things changing in the background. I'm not an insider, so I gotta qualify my information. And when I get that, I'm gonna break it down and come back and, you know what I'm saying, give my spiel on Tuesday go dark. And I have questions. And I can't get the answers because I gotta qualify the information, man. I don't just be out here jaw jacking. This is a fact-based content type channel. This is Fruits and Veggies, not that Reggie. But when I was surveying the landscape, I started looking at and started listening because there's so much to say about Riyadh Season, and you won't give Turkey his praises and his worships. And I said, hey, listen, he is putting on some things. He is giving us some of them things to watch. I'm just not ready to, like, I'm not doing, you know, he added on to the sport right now. I'm just one of the people where I'm not going to the basic, the first conversation. I got to sit back. I got to wait and watch. Like, so I got to sit back. Let me see, man. I appreciate y'all. Salute to Al Money. Al Money, you know how I do my thing, man. I salute for the super chat, man. I appreciate that, man. I'm gonna fix the mic. Let me see. I appreciate that. Let's see. Let me see something. Let me make sure. All right. Let me see. Let me make sure. Dang, Al Money. You know how I be doing, man. I purposely, trust me, I do not be ignoring nobody, man. I just do myself without. You've been around. I appreciate that super chat though, for real, man. Thanks for the correction. Salute the Cookie Monster. You know, in the building. So everybody missed what was going on, but let me go back into it. Let me see. Let me Let's make sure it's something. Okay. Long story short, hopefully the feedback wasn't too bad. Long story short, Richardson Hitch, his win aged very well. He got off of social media, he got low. The next thing we hear and how he coming out, how he moving, we got to stay tuned in. Guys, Fimo, there's rumors about him going up or going somewhere or doing whatever. Like I said, Kenny Sims just came out and said that out of Mortaya, Kenny Sims Jr. and one other person, T.O. chose Steve Claggett. So, I mean, he on the move, he on the prowl. We know Tank, we waiting to hear about what he doing, but he could step his toe, whatever when it comes to that. So, Brill got outworked. What in the world? Man, I hope that fixed it. I hope it fixed it. It's only one way for me to find out. I never had these technical difficulties. I never had them. I'm testing. I gotta test it. I gotta test it. That's terrible audio, man. That is terrible. I got the terrible audio. I gotta see if it's still doing it. Let me see. I gotta get this right, man. I can't mess this up. This is some important information.
They think that I just come in there and look for knockoffs, and that's not the case. I'm actually a sharp, smart fighter.
So, wow, I'm here. Who wanted to fight me? Who?
I really don't care who's in front of me. I don't
Welcome to Bodywork.
No, they think that I just come in there and look for knockouts, and that's not the case. I'm actually a sharp, smart fighter.
So, what happened? I'm here. Who want to fight me?
I really don't care who's in front of me. I don't feel like no fighter can beat me.
Our goal is to demolish everybody, to be honest. Everybody that's in my way. The pinnacle to any weight division is to have all the belts, all of the titles.
Welcome to Bodywork. Hopefully we back with no issues. Hopefully we back with no issues. So that is a big faux pas. But listen, man, we suffer a little adversity sometimes. You know what happens. It happens. I just knew that it was okay. Cookie Monster. And that's just something that I would never catch because everything's normally all set up the right way. And I don't read the comments until I get done with the initial portion, until I get ready to come out almost. So that's just something I got to change. I guess that's one of them things when they say, hey, don't get it's clear like Sunday traffic on 95. Okay. I got you, Cookie Monster. All right, so this is what I'm getting at, man. 140 has big implications. You know, it's big implications. And I was looking at everything, and like I was saying before, when it came down to people talking about Turkey and stuff. And, you know, oh man, Mike, you had a lot to say about Turkey. You know, I'm like, listen, man, I'm not going to kiss the ring. I'm not going to do all that extra stuff that everybody else talking about. I'm like, man, are we men? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not one of them people that run around saying, you know, what other people say after they say things that don't sound right. I can appreciate what he contributed to the game. I appreciate what he's contributing to the game, but at the same time, you know, I'm not gonna kiss the ring, man. That's just saying I don't even feel right saying it. For real, man. I'm not gonna kiss the ring, man. What I am gonna do is salute him for contributing positively to the sport of boxing, and I'm gonna look at it like most fans do, like what's in my best interest. Because I mean, shoot, everybody else want to be selfish when it come down to you know, talking about boxing. If everybody want to be selfish and self-centered and all about their needs, I'm like, okay, what about my needs? You know, I need us to establish when belts matter. I need us to establish do the amateurs matter? Because depending on what point and what subject, you know, people tend to move goalposts. And I was looking at the big card, and the big question was how, you know, why the fight wasn't getting so much buzz. That's what everybody's saying. And I'm like, listen, because the truth be told, a lot of people feel like they know 90% of the outcome. Like if a lot of people that's talking about the main thing, you know, on all of the cards, people feel like they know 90% of who's on there. Like who's on there and going to win. They might not necessarily know the people around. Like that's why I was trying to say, I was not trying to be facetious, when I was basically saying, man, like shame on these analysts who knew who Madrimov was and all that. Shame on them for not telling us, because we just now hearing about it. Everybody talking about, and they speaking like they know so much. And I'm like, okay, well, is it because a lot of people are actually shooting from the hip, talking they really basing it on an eye test. That's what they basing it on, because I asked again, I'm like, do amateurs matter or don't they? Because when it comes to Loma, they do, but when you look at what Loma did in the pros, you can say that he's a Hall of Famer, but, you know, don't make me go there. He's a Hall of Famer. So do amateurs matter or not? Like, I started saying, man, what on this card, what has the most nutritional value on it? This fight right here. This fight right here. Isaac Pitbull Cruz and Jose Rayo Valenzuela. This fight right here. Why? Because when you get down to the heart of the matter of this, nobody ever saw Pitbull Cruz being a major player in this division. This is why I'm talking about him. You see that little 40 up in the corner? Been a long going series with me and that 40 up in the corner talking about this division. And nobody really saw Isaac being here, but now he's a major player on a major stage. Now it's all eyes on me. Now we got to actually start looking down and breaking down the facts and all that, because based on the eye test, everybody thinking that Isaac Pitbull Cruz is just going to go in there and slap Rayo to sleep. And I got to thinking about it. I'm like, I don't know. And I'll get to that. But the backdrop is Isaac Pitbull Cruz got here because he survived 12 rounds with Gervonta Tank Davis. Let's not forget that. And it's real ironic. That's why you got to be careful when you bring this up in boxing conversations about how it's crazy how everybody want Tank to fight him again because Tank didn't knock him out. They want him to fight Pitbull again because Tank didn't knock him out. So I don't even have to finish off the rest. So we already know it's a different standard, and everybody's expecting for Isaac Pitbull Cruz to go in there and just slap Rayo to sleep. Well, that might not necessarily be the case. Why? Because you got to look at the dude Cabrera and how he fought. Now, granted, Isaac Pitbull Cruz, one of his greatest attributes is he has an iron jaw. Iron jaw. You know, he should be on James Bond. Remember that dude on James Bond, one of his nemesis? That's this guy. Man got an iron jaw. But at 140, I think he's slightly too small as far as the attributes. When you think about the length and when you think about the height and the width of the average 140. And styles make fights and things like that. But when you look at what Cabrera was able to do, and you don't really look at, okay, well, we're talking about metrics now. We're talking about people with height and reach. Because people just blast and oh my gosh. So Isaac Pitbull Cruz, his stock is really, really high right now. But we gotta say, okay, well, why is it high? It's high because he survived 12 rounds with Gervonta Tank Davis. Because Gervonta Tank Davis, if he don't get the knockout, nobody gonna look at it like he did nothing. So that's just the standard that's set for Tank. You know, he got to deal with that. That's just the standard that everybody hold him to. It's just different for everybody else. And then Isaac Pitbull Cruz just stopped Rolly. But Tank didn't get no credit for Rolly. They bring up and say no, but the legitimacy is that Isaac Pitbull Cruz moved up to 140 and relieved Rolly of his strap. One that he couldn't, a lot of people say Rolly shouldn't have, and I myself was one of them. So I'm not a hypocrite. I say the same thing about the Spence, and then I think it's a little different with the Spence, but I say the same thing about Spence coming off of stoppage laws going up, you know what I'm saying, and getting that. I don't agree with it. I didn't agree with it when Rolly was able to do it. after Tank. I didn't agree with the decision with Ishmael Barroso. So that's the so when you look at the nutritional value of this, Isaac Pitbull Cruz has groomed his fan base, and a lot of people rock with him. One, because his people gonna rock with him range through the snow, and he's already building that. But a lot of people look at him as one of the only guys that go. It was 2 guys. I think it was a 6-rounder early on, and then this guy 12 rounds survived Tank. That, and then he relieved Rolly of a strap. Let's be honest. So when we look at the knockout, when we look at Cabrera, what happened to Cabrera? He just now got knocked out. Let's not talk about that with Zepeda. He did afterward. He got stopped by Zepeda, but Isaac Pitbull Cruz didn't do it. Look at this. He's 26-2-1. 18 KOs. That's a 69% knockout rate. 2 losses, 1 draw. He's 5'4", 63. Well, okay, Mike, what you getting at? Let's look at Cabrera. He wasn't a knockout artist. 22-2 with 7 KOs only. He was 5'9", 71-inch reach. 5'9", 71. Against 5'4", 63. That's 5-inch height and a 10-inch reach. That's a 5-inch height, a 10-inch reach. All right, Mike, what you getting at? Well, Cabrera did it, and I think Cabrera was turning him. Everybody getting drunk off of what he did to Rolly, but we know Rolly ain't a boxer. Cabrera is a boxer. But let's look at Rayo. Yeah, Ali, 5'10" with a 70-inch reach. So he's gonna have a 5-inch height and a 9-inch reach over him. But Rayo has power. He's a knockout. You could put him up there. His knockout right is the same as Isaac Pitbull Cruz. Only he has the frame built for 140. Isaac Pitbull Cruz is a little chubby being there at 140. Like if we being honest. Now when they get in there and they weigh in and all that, and they, he look ripped, but he look a little, you know what I'm saying? He's not all. He got a 5-inch height and a 9-inch reach. Cabrera had a 5-inch height and a 9-inch reach. And the biggest knock on El Rayo is people be saying that he chinny. That's the biggest thing they say about him. Why? Because what De Los Santos did. They say that because of what De Los Santos did. He got in there, he mixed it up with, let's look at it. Don't take my word for it. Chris Colbert. He ran it back with Chris Colbert. He lost a unanimous decision. And in that fight, my lady actually thought he won that first fight. Me and my old head, we was watching it and we had scored it. We had Colbert, but you could argue that fight, that first one, you could argue either way. Like people had mixed feelings. That was just a good fight. They had it running back. And what did he do when they ran it back? Bada boom, bada pow. Kung Pao chicken right up against the ropes. Chris Colbert was gone. So he's no stranger to power, but these kind of guys was more of closer to his dimensions, but these guys had speed and power. Francisco Vargas, Austin Dulé. So I think a lot of people, I think that this is a sleeper fight. It has some big implications. And people are saying, why, Mike? What's the implications? The implications are he went and relieved it from Rolly. That was his first fight at 140. And he weighed in at 138. This is only his second fight at 140. It's only his second fight, and he's defending his strap. And we've seen what type of year this is, where, anything can happen. Anything can happen except for, some people gonna go get the job done. You know what I'm saying? Like Tank, that man gonna go finish. He ain't gonna play around with his food. He gonna go finish his food. He gonna get up out of there. He gonna take some risks. He gonna take some chances. He gonna have you on the edge of your seat, and he gonna get the job done. Well, El Rayo tries to get the job done too. He got a 69% knockout rate, and everybody love Pitbull's fighting style. He had a 69% knockout rate as well. This is a sleeper fight. This is a sleeper fight. Let's see. I think that people are don't really have their goggles on now. People are gonna be like, you're gonna have some people. These would be like the troll like people where Pitbull Cruz come out and just happen to catch Rayo in the 7th. They're gonna come in here and be yelling and screaming, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. Because that could very well much possibly happen. That could happen. I think that this is one of the fights where people want to say they want to step on the gas and all that, but they're not looking at a lot of things, man. Rayo can box, and he's actually had the experience of actually being in the ring with these guys. He actually had the experience of actually being in there with De Los Santos, the Grenade. He been in there with Chris Colbert, who could typically Chris Colbert could box. I don't know. I think he need to focus a little bit, but I think he just I think Chris Colbert, he's at that point in time where bones probably got hard, not managing the weight right, and he's not staying on weight to where his conditioning and everything is for him to be fighting at 130. But he need to be down there mixing it up, holding it down at 130. He ran into El Rayo. It was his boxing skill that actually even allowed him to get the unanimous decision. And El Rayo came out and he sealed the deal on the second go around. So the experience level, when you look at experience level, man, Rayo has a lot of, he got a lot of chips in the basket, man, leaning for him. I think he wants to make a statement. I think he wants to redeem himself, and this is the other part, and we need to be able to compartmentalize boxing conversations now. Okay, I'm getting ready to say something that you probably ain't gonna like. I'm not sure if he was the best fit over there with the Benavidez in them. I think that listen, I'm not gonna knock where they, how it happened and the success that they were actually able to give him, but I do believe that sometimes you have a father and a son and they got their little thing going on or whatever, or you have a coach that has access to people who are just going to be talented. Some coaches have the benefit of actually they get a lot of people out of the Olympics or alternates or whatever. They just naturally get a hold of guys that just are naturally good. You're right. And so if you look at what Senior is dealing with and what he had, especially when you look back at Jose Benavidez and what he was before and how he boxed and how he fought beforehand, And then you look at what he got in David now. You be like, man, listen, man, it was his boys. Like, he could have just did it just with his boys. Had, you know, but Jose, what happened with Jose, and then David, he done proved his thing, face adversity. He got it. He came into his own. He done matured. I done seen him mature, but I'm not sure if Rayo ever fit over there. As far as style wise and this and that, maybe, you know, if Jose, I don't know, because this style, he got a different style. He just got a different style. I think that him being over there in the Robert Garcia gym, Robert Garcia he got a small army, man. I don't know. Y'all might want to wake up out there, man. Robert Garcia is on a low. Robert Garcia is getting low, and he got a small army over there, man. You know, he had Virgil and Bam. You know what I'm saying? Virgil and Bam, man. That connects that right there. Morataya in there. You know, he got his brother that can dip in and show these guys, and his brother Mikey, you know, we all know who Mikey was. I think that being able to see how to maneuver and being able to get in there and watch Bam move and how he negotiate his obstacles, and how Morataya, how he move, how he negotiate his obstacles. And then Rayo said something that dawned on me. He said, man, I've been fighting guys like this all my life. And I'm like, yeah, but we all can kind of get overinflated by what people say and how they build people up. Because again, I gotta remind you, Isaac Pitbull Cruz is a come-forward pressure fighter with an iron jaw. He has unrelenting pressure. But in a lot of cases, his feet must be set, and it's one thing. You're not gonna get nothing different. You know exactly what you're getting. Like if Isaac Pitbull Cruz had a delivery customer service business, he would do very, very well. Why? Because you know exactly what you're going to get. He's not going to Timu you. You know what you're getting. It's coming forward. Lots heavy pressure. Lots of mustard on everything. Hot sauce and mustard on everything. Chin tuck. And that's one of his attributes. I think that how he crouches and how he extends himself, that's one of his attributes, but you know exactly what you're going to get when it comes to Isaac Pitbull Cruz. So I think that this is a sleeper fight. I think that people got to really look at it. I wanted to go here and look at this real quick. Let's look at this. Junior welterweight. Teofimo Lopez, WBO. Liam Paro has the IBF. Isaac Pitbull Cruz with the asterisk. WBA. Ishmael Barroso is the WBA interim junior welterweight champion. Ishmael Barroso. So they're gonna have to dance. The WBC, they actually have that listed as vacant. Devin Haney is the junior welterweight champion in recess, but we all know that Alberto Puello. And I'm gonna tell y'all how cold the game is. And this is why this is one of my favorite divisions, because on any given night in the 140 division, it can go down on any given night. But this is why let me see. Let me stop. Let me see. All right. Let's look at this. This is how cold the game is. This is how cold the game is, y'all. I'm gonna show y'all how cold the game is. Teofimo Lopez, they have him as 1. 21-1, 13 KOs. He came off of Steve Claggett. Devin, they got him going up. They have Devin at number 2. So that's really right now, while in recess, that's kind of, I mean, you know, you got to respect that they have him there, but in recess, that's kind of like taking up a slot, for real. But 31-0 and 1 with 15 KOs. He got the no contest with Ryan. He was number 3, so they put him at number 2 after that. Jack Catterall, he's up. He's ranked number 4. 29-1 with 13 KOs. Josh Taylor. Pitbull, he up. He ranked number 5. Pitbull is ranked number 5. Pitbull is ranked number 5. This is his second fight at 140. And he beat Rolly for a strap. 26-2-1 with 18 KOs. Liam Paro, 5. 25-0 with 15 knockouts. And he beat Subriel Matias at 140. Relieved him of the IBF strap under the IBF rehydration rules in his own backyard. Mind you, he also beat Montana Love. Where at? Was that in his own backyard? Yikes. They still got Jose Ramirez up here. Now, I respect Jose Ramirez because he's a veteran. But I must say, man, you know how many times Jose Ramirez turned down opportunities at a strap, man? You know how many times he said no? He said no more than most boxers get an opportunity to actually fight for in the past 2-3 years. I mean, I wouldn't go do your research if you don't believe me. But he's number 6, which is cool. He's a veteran. I mean, he got a name. You know, out there he's selling Cali. He's selling Cali so much that he can turn down a title shot and be like, I'm just gonna pick him because I can get my bread. Already got a fan base. I got an audience. I understand why people would want to fight him. I do. But they got him ranked at number 6. I mean, let's just keep it a buck. Subriel Matias, he's down. He was number 2. 20-2 with 20 KOs. So everybody he been in there with, aside from his 2 losses, he stopped them. He avenged his last loss, and Liam Paro just went over to Puerto Rico and relieved him of his strap. And I think that was one of the biggest. I think people was talking about it. I mean, I think I did a good, responsible job about, you know, talking about it and trying to be balanced like I always am when I'm breaking them down. But I think most of the world didn't expect that. They knew it could happen, but I don't think most of the world expected that. Regis Prograis, he's down. He's previous ranking was number 7. He's at number 8, 29-2 with 24 KOs. You know, the Devin Haney, he came up and relieved him of his strap. Nobody saw that coming. Getting dropped and getting relieved of your strap, nobody saw that coming from Devin. Devin kind of shocked a lot of people. I mean, his fans say they saw it coming, but, you know, those are his fans. A lot of people didn't see him doing it. They probably saw him winning, but they didn't see him doing it like that. Where Regis had no, like Regis, I was shocked. I've never seen it. That's almost, I don't know, man. Mel, it ain't quite like, it wasn't kind of like Mel. It's like where he didn't let his hands go. He didn't, you know, Mel, you know, kind of the same a little bit, like, as far as that big moment with that name and, you know, what the results were. And he had something going on with Jack Catterall, but I'm hearing that was, you know, I think Jack Catterall is out of the picture. Josh Taylor, not sure what's going on with Josh Taylor. He gave up a lot of straps, and, you know, he did his thing. He was undisputed. That's what T.O. took that lineal off of him. That's why T.O. is the man up there. That's why they pretty much got him up there, because that's what he has. And Alberto Puello is still number 10, and he actually beat Gary Antoine Russell for that WBC interim title, which was going to lead to the strap, depending on what Devin was going to do. And guess what? Gary Antoine Russell, that's his first loss. Gary Russell, not even in here. Not even in here. And that, so anything can happen, and it can happen overnight at 140. It can happen overnight. So we're looking at this Isaac Pitbull Cruz right here being at number 4, defending that strap for the first time against a guy like Rayo, who is tenured. He's you know, he got some experience. He's in there with a camp. Just something to think about. Just something to think about. But this is how I see this fight, man. This is a sleeper fight. It could be the upset of the night in a lot of people's eyes. And I think, either way, you can win some bread on this fight. Either way. If you know how to play, you can win some bread on this fight either way, y'all. So I think the fans win. I would have to say that the fans win. And I think this is the catalyst for what they use to actually get a lot of the bodies in the building, man, because the demographics of this fan base filling out and packing out the building, yeah, it's gonna be a lot of people coming out, because a lot of people believe in Isaac Pitbull Cruz. Just me as a hardcore fan, looking at everything, breaking down the numbers, looking at the dimensions. This fight, I think it's gonna look a little different than what everybody think it is. And I think you can flip a coin on this fight, man. And I just laid out all the reasons. His twin. Salute his twin. But yeah, I'm like, hey. Now my dad going. But I'm like, yeah, I think this is a good fight. I think it's a sleeper fight. And I think it's as far as the nutritional value part, like what everybody over here really concerned about and what a lot of people have on their minds, as far as what benefits us. I think this is the fight. This is the fight. So I gave the reasons. I went over the rankings. I told y'all about 140, man. This has big implications, man. This is a title defense for the 140 division, and we're gonna see what happens in a couple months, because we got Kenneth Sims Jr. out there, Gustavo Lemos out there, Richardson Hitchens. He's gonna have to come and do whatever he's gonna do. 140 is lit, and this has big implications because it's gonna shake it up, like depending on what happened with this fight and the opportunity that are given and who get a shot and what is all gonna take, how people energy gonna change after this fight. Salute, Cookie Monster. Thank you. Louis Anthony Casada. Bodywork. Yeah, if you got any thoughts or any views on this, you want to speak your piece on this, I think that this is a good one. This is a good one with big implications. I've been trying to keep the live short, man, for the people who like to catch it on payback and all that. But this is what I was talking about. Sleeper fight. I think it's gonna be a real war, man. I think you can flip a coin on this. But that's my breakdown, man. This is my division, man. 140 is mine, man. Try to tell y'all 140 is mine. It's like, nah, it ain't mine, but I've been covering it. I think I've been doing right by it, man, and breaking it down. So this for what I've been following and me, you know, getting back in my lane and not getting distracted once again. This is the row. I gotta even update the row thumbnail. This is the row. At any given minute, man, any given night in the row, it can go down. Let me see. Well, that's my take. So, I mean, hopefully that add to the conversation and give some people some reasoning, some rationale, just not fandemonium, even though fandemonium is good. But hopefully this can kind of like paint a picture for you and some things you might want to consider. You can make bread either way if you know how to get it done. You know how to get it done. You can make bread either way on this fight. And either way, you're gonna be entertained by this fight. You know, whether does it go the full 12, the under over. You know how it does it end in a knockout. Is it gonna be multiple knockdowns? Is it gonna be a referee stopping something? Like, there's so many different ways you can get bread on it. But we really don't know what's gonna happen. Like all the other fights, we pretty much know what's gonna happen in them, man. 90% of the other, this is the only fight where me personally, this the only fight where I can honestly say I really don't know what's gonna happen, man. I was leaning towards Pitbull, but then I got to looking and thinking. I said, I don't know, man. Rayo got some power. It's just I'm not gonna question. See, a lot of boxing fans are questioning something that a boxer has shown them over and over and over and over again. But that boxer has to keep proving themselves over and over and over and over again. But then the boxer will show you that they got like an ironclad chin. I mean, until proven otherwise, you kind of got to believe it. But Rayo got some, I think the speed and velocity of his punches is different. So I think some of the ways where Cabrera couldn't have capitalized, if Rayo hit you with a good combination and an uppercut, like if he do something like if he been watching Bam, if we didn't got in there and, you know what I'm saying, took some tips from Bam and kind of like, you know, in how they deliver their stuff, odds could shift the whole other way and Rayo could stop him. It is 140, man. This is Pitbull's second fight, so up there, and he's defending it. Weird things happen when you're defending it, and all your people out there watching and this and this and that, man. But that's all I had on this one. You know, like I said, I want to keep my lives in the parameter. But if you catch this on the playback, I'll let your boy if you catch this on the playback. Let me know in my comment section what you think. Remember, this is fact-based content. Fruits and veggies, not that Reggie. Man, I gotta get back to my regular videos, but I'm here and I'm gonna be going live, speaking on what I talk about. Anyways, y'all, thanks for tuning in here at Bodywork Boxing. But we don't take things for face value. We do that body work.
He didn't want to box. He wanted to actually prove that he could punch with you. He was like, what the fuck is this nigga? Right? Oh, okay, you want to go to sleep. You tired.
Welcome to Bodywork.